Good evening. My name is Jason Mizrachi, and I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight for a very special and unique Tropical Nights 2020. Tropical Nights is the annual event that raises funds for the University of Miami and Nova Southeastern University Center for Autism and Related Disabilities. The event celebrates the amazing community of clinicians, staff, researchers, and the impact they've had on families and individuals, along with the business community here in South Florida. The event is typically hosted as an in-person gala in the spring, but due to the pandemic, we had to make a shift to a virtual event. Whether you're tuning in on Facebook Live or watching with friends via Zoom, we encourage you to participate, comment, like, share, and of course, donate. This amazing organization has had a tremendous impact on our family personally, and I'm honored to be your host for this evening. 2020 has been a challenging year, as we all know, but you'll hear tonight UM-NSU CARD continues to thrive. The team has adapted and continues to serve and support the nearly 13,000 families and individuals under their care. UM-NSU CARD is seeing record participation in its virtual programs, and the shift to online has helped lead to new programming as well. This evening, we will take you on a journey. You will hear from UM-NSU CARD's leaders and champions, as well as families and others in our community fighting to make life a little bit easier for families and individuals impacted by autism. Before kicking off tonight's program, I wanted to thank everyone in our community and their friends, family, colleagues, and loved ones who have donated to UM-NSU CARD through their in-kind donations and to our Tropical Nights peer-to-peer online campaign. We couldn't be more humble. This money will go directly to support UM-NSU CARD's service and support for families in our community. I'd also like to thank this year's sponsors. This event would not be possible without your support. Your generosity, support, and ongoing commitment to UM-NSU CARD is unwavering and inspiring. Now let's get this evening started with a few words from Dr. Michael Alessandri, UM-NSU CARD's Executive Director, and Dr. Diane Adrian, Associate Director.
The Center for Autism and Related Disabilities is one of the greatest gifts to the state of Florida. It actually is a remarkably unique program that doesn't exist anywhere else in the country, actually anywhere else in the world. CARD is a center that is based at the University of Miami that is funded by the state of Florida and has been since 1993. And we are funded entirely for one purpose, and that is to take care of people with autism in our community, and also people with related disabilities. So this is a wide swath of people who live in our community that need care and need guidance, need assistance, and need support. And not just at one moment in time, but all along the lifespan. There are so many critical points in a child's development when they first get a diagnosis, and then as they move into school, and also as they move into adolescence, and then that big step into adulthood where they need experts to touch base with them and their families to guide them on their journey. And we're there to do that, and we do it across the entire lifespan whenever they need us. And we're doing it right now for over 13,000 families in South Florida. The beginning of this journey for me started in 1981. So I volunteered with a friend in a summer camp one day, and they paired me with a little boy named Marlon. He was about a 10-year-old boy, African-American with autism. And at the end of that day, I went home and told my parents, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Marlon so deeply touched me. The connection we had, despite his inability to talk, was so deep. The way that he processed information and explored his environment was so interesting to me. I'd never seen anything like it before. It just so inspired me to want to know more, to want to dig deeper, to want to build more personal connections with more people like Marlon. You know, I always tell my clinicians, the boundaries that you learn about in graduate school or in college, about the professional relationship you should have with your clients, we need to beat down those walls, because in the work that we do, taking care of people who have children with special needs is not one that allows walls. Like, we have to be available, we have to be accessible, we have to be ever present so that the families know that they have someone they can count on at any moment to make a decision and help them make a decision about their child. Our whole team is filled with other people just like me, people who've devoted their entire lives and their entire careers to making the world a better place for people with autism.
We serve all families. So we have families that, like many families in South Florida, that are struggling just to put food on the table and to get by day to day. And it's not for us to judge families. And we're going to be sensitive to where they're coming from and guide them with the things that they can access. Where another family that might be in a very different position is looking for the best therapist and they can pay out of pocket, and we can help them in a different way. We very much individualize how we're working with those families, being sensitive to their situation, their circumstance, and what they're doing.
Our CARD Center is a very special program among the 7 CARD centers in the state of Florida because it represents a very unique partnership between 2 private institutions. So CARD is funded by a Florida statute that outlines 4 primary service goals for the center. Number 1 is taking care of clients and their families. Number 2 is providing programmatic assistance to schools and other agencies so that they can deliver high-quality services to people with autism. Number 3, very importantly, is a wide portfolio of training for siblings, for family members, for teachers, and other people in the community who need to learn about autism and need to learn about best practices. And the 4th, and perhaps maybe the most important, is public awareness. One of the things we're tasked with is making sure that all those people who are not directly affected by autism actually have the knowledge they need to interact more successfully with people with autism and hopefully build a more inclusive community. CARD is funded primarily by a line item in the governor's budget every year, and we have been in the governor's budget every year since 1993. Unfortunately, we don't get funding increases that match our constituent growth, so we also have to fundraise actively every year. In fact, we haven't had a legislative budget increase in 5 years, in over 5 years, and we've grown by over 3,000 plus constituents in that same time frame. We always run at a deficit, so we have to fundraise to close that gap. We can't serve 13,000 families with just the allocation we get from the state. It amounts to about $150 per year per client. For anyone out there who knows anything about therapy services, that's about 1 therapy session per client per year, which is not adequate. So 2020 has been, as everybody knows, the most difficult year we've ever experienced, and we went to an entirely virtual format. And it turned out, we learned a lot of important lessons. It turns out a lot of our families find it much easier to access our services virtually than to have to manage the process of getting to see us live. So we were able to ramp up quickly. We were able to be really innovative in some of the offerings that we were putting out to the community. And we've actually surprised ourselves with the productivity and the efficiency with which we're working now. We had 50% more client contacts in the midst of COVID than we did in the quarter before. And we had 100% more trainings that we were able to deliver than we did in the quarter before. We've learned a lot of important lessons. The most important is that we can be as effective, as efficient, as productive, and as impactful in a virtual format as in a live format. We miss our clients. We miss that human contact. We know we need to get back to that to some degree. But for the time being, as long as COVID lingers, we know we can reach our families and we know we can support them through the difficult time that they're all in right now. And we're proud of that.
I feel blessed every day to work in this program because it's so wonderful to help families at no cost and just provide advice that we think will be helpful for them.
UM-NSU CARD wants to reach every family in South Florida that could benefit from its service and support. Part of those efforts include reaching out to communities of color and others where awareness is lagging. Here is Dr. Jennifer DeRocher, UM-NSU CARD Director, to share a bit more about what the team is doing to reach more families in our community.
CARD serves over 13,000 families in South Florida, but we know that that's just a small portion of the number of families affected by autism that are in our community. And so one of our main priorities at CARD is to continue to brainstorm and find new ways to bring those people who haven't found us to us. And that really includes families who are traditionally underserved, particularly in communities of color. I think one of our main priorities has always been and continues to be how to serve those families better and how to help them access our services. We know that children of color are diagnosed much later than other children in our community. And this is nationally as well as in South Florida. And there may be challenges related to insurance access to get a high quality diagnosis or evaluation. Within the school system, there continues to be statewide disproportionality in identifying children of color under the eligibility of autism. There may be language barriers, and these really affect outcome significantly. If children don't get diagnosed, they're not able to access appropriate autism-related services. So one of our main priorities is to not only outreach to those communities to help them learn about CARD and register with CARD, but also to increase awareness in those communities of signs and symptoms of autism so that children can get diagnosed sooner. We are strategically thinking about other ways to share information with our community partners that will help us outreach to those families as well. It's important that we have a diverse staff at CARD so that we can really connect with families from different cultural backgrounds in a way that is genuine to them. I think being able to provide virtual services to families has really kind of upped our game a bit. Our staff have been just phenomenally creative in rolling out new support groups, new online activities for families, and really also including a lot of work on kind of mental health and self-care that really wasn't part of our offerings for families beforehand. And so I think our staff have grown tremendously. Our leadership has grown tremendously in trying to brainstorm how to best serve our community in these uncertain times. We have brought some new families into our fold. Families that had been registered with CARD for quite a long time that really had only intermittently been engaged are now much more engaged. And I think being able to join a meeting from the comfort of one's home, not have to travel, being able to multitask while kind of receiving support, I think those have all really helped those families that struggle to access the services they need because they have very busy lives.
Thank you, Dr. DeRocher. UM-NSU CARD is having an impact every day, and it's the case managers on the front lines that are making a huge difference in the lives of families and individuals they serve and support. Now let's hear from Jacqueline Moultrie, one of UM-NSU CARD's rising stars in Broward County.
Well, my role as a case manager, I really kind of help families prioritize what their needs are, as well as help them utilize the benefits and community resources that they have access to. A lot of times they're getting a lot of information thrown at them, so I also kind of help them filter through that information that's relevant for them and their family dynamic in the hopes that we can come up with a nice roadmap or plan for their little person or loved one with autism. I work a lot with the school-age children, so probably about that first time they get diagnosed up until 12th grade and beyond. I do have some cases of adults who are, or young teenagers who are transitioning into adulthood, but for the most part, I work with the families and the little ones and just kind of helping them find a clear routine and a clear path for them to get some of the desired outcomes that they may be looking for. Some of the supports that we offer to families is kind of helping them navigate the different systems of care that are available within the Broward community. So for example, ABA therapists, speech and language pathologists, maybe they need an environment where their child can get some kind of social engagement with their peers so they can practice some of those social skills that they're learning in their ABA and speech and occupational therapy. So we try to find places within the community that we think will be a good fit for that particular child, as well as their family dynamic. Something I want to share with families is to not be afraid of the information. Information is power, and even if you don't know what to do with the information, that's why places like UM-NSU CARD exists. We are here to help you navigate all that information and kind of pick out what's relevant to you and what's going to be best for you to use as you go forward and your child continues to grow and develop. So don't be afraid of the information and don't be afraid to reach out to us. We're waiting for you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. You're a true inspiration. Now shifting gears, whereas UM-NSU CARD helps families and individuals create a game plan and connect with much needed support, services, and resources in the community. Its sister organization, the Autism Spectrum Assessment Clinic, which shares the same office space, is often where families start their journey. In addition to providing in-depth assessments and training for parents, ASAC is pioneering research in the field of autism, and UM-NSU CARD plays an important role in that. Here are Megan Parlay, co-director of the Autism Spectrum Assessment Clinic at the University of Miami, and Cecilia Alvarez-Taballo, manager of Autism Intervention Services, to tell you more.
Many families start the diagnostic process at maybe their pediatrician's office or a neurologist where they're raising some suspicion or some concern for autism. And they may even get an initial diagnosis at a neurologist's office. But the type of an assessment that we can provide is a lot more comprehensive. So families then come to us to understand more than just the diagnosis itself, but really understand the child and the child's own individual strengths and weaknesses. So we look at more than just the way that the symptoms are playing out in the child, but we understand their cognitive development, their language development, their social interaction skills, their adaptive functioning skills. So all of that is evaluated throughout our assessments. And what that helps and what that provides is really a very tailored set of recommendations for therapies, for educational programs, for other community services that then becomes that family's roadmap to getting the treatment and to getting the help that they need. What is really important in our work with CARD is that they can help them navigate that roadmap. So once we provide that diagnosis and sit down with the families and explain the recommendations, we can then, with the family's permission, consult with CARD, and the CARD case manager can then take it from there and really help them identify those pieces that they need and that's recommended in our evaluations. When working with our families, when providing a diagnosis of autism, that can be a very scary and overwhelming process for a family. And the system can be incredibly difficult to navigate, especially for families with limited resources. So that's where that continuity of care becomes extremely important from the diagnostic process to the treatment process. We're fortunate to have CARD to really fill that gap for families. So CARD is really important in the work that we do within our research programs. That's where we get the individuals who are interested in helping and contributing to science. So we're able to connect with the people and the families that are already registered with CARD and see if they're willing to volunteer for these research studies. Really, the research wouldn't be possible without our CARD families. The way that CARD families can get involved in our research studies is one easy way to access this information is within the CARD e-newsletter that goes out weekly. So families can sign up to receive this newsletter, and there's a section devoted to our research initiatives. So they'll be able to find information and see whether or not they might be a good fit for one particular study.
As a CARD clinician, I see a lot of families who have been newly diagnosed who are looking for guidance on what types of services to do, what to do next, even understanding the diagnosis. What happens is in the community, there's a lot of great work done by ABA therapists with the children, and they really do an amazing job. There's this need to train parents on the same skills that they do with the children in the clinic, so there's a sense of continuity at home. Some of the parent trainings that we provide are focusing on what we call autism caregiver training, and that is really focusing on teaching parents applied behavior analysis methodology, just so they understand our approach as analysts, from understanding the functions of their child's behavior to preventive strategies and what to do at home to prevent some of those behaviors, and then reactive strategies based on the function. So once they understand why their child is behaving the way they are behaving, knowing what consequences or what to do in order to manage a behavior that is problematic for them, and it's not allowing their child to be more adaptive and more functional in their daily life. Some of the trainings that we do for professionals in the community, especially teachers that work with the autism population, is trainings that have to do with inclusion. And so what we try and do is to help them understand the symptoms of autism and understand better ways to help the student with autism learn and be in a classroom environment.
Thank you, Megan and Cecilia. As you can see, there are so many ways that UM-NSU CARD is impacting families and the community in South Florida. Diving deeper into the scope of what UM-NSU CARD does and the impact it's having, let me turn things over to Sarah Dager, Manager of Educational and Family Support Services, who will share more about the great programs UM-NSU CARD offers.
I oversee the education division within CARD. We work a lot with the schools, with the teachers, developing programs, developing trainings, and working closely with the schools. We also develop a lot of the recreational programs within CARD, and I oversee programs like summer camp, surf camp. I started at CARD 11 years ago. It was godsend. I bumped into a friend who told me all these wonderful things about a place called CARD. They were looking for a teacher for their summer program, and she thought of me, and she called me, and she automatically said, "I think you're the one." And it has been by far one of the best decisions that I've made. I not only have grown professionally, but the people at CARD are not only my coworkers, people I learn from, but they're my friends, they're my family. I think that I was born to help, to serve, to guide people, and having the opportunity to do so within my job, it has been one of the biggest blessings. One of the programs that I love is Mother's Group. In Mother's Group, not only because I was also born to be a mom, by meeting these moms and being able to help them and guide them, you are not alone. We are here for you, we're guiding you. And like I always tell my moms in my support groups, I'm just a call away. We are always here for whatever you need. And there's a community of moms, of individuals that are here for you, including ourselves.
Thank you, Sarah. As Sarah mentioned, the impact UM-NSU CARD is having on our families is huge. The UM-NSU CARD community, the services and programs available free of charge, and the support groups touch families in many ways. Here are a few of those stories.
Hi, my name is Barbara Vasquez Perez. I am the mother of Luca Perez, a 13-year-old teenager. We got involved with CARD about 10 to 11 years ago, right before Luca started kindergarten. CARD has been like a family to us, a sounding board, folks that I have partnered with that are now my friends. They have meant so much to us. They've paved the way for Luca and for myself to venture out and just educate ourselves.
My name is Pastor Fooster. I'm the proud father of Joshua Fooster. He's the pride and joy of our house, and he's 6 years old. After receiving a diagnosis. And the moment you do, you sit right back in your car, as my wife and I did. We cried, and then you ask yourself, what's next? And you have no idea where to go. You have no idea who to turn to. You have no idea what the next steps are. And I think CARD for us has been that guidance, that step-by-step hand-holding that you need after you receive such a devastating news that you really weren't expecting to receive. So I think it's invaluable to have that touch with an organization that has proven to be able to be so influential in families' lives. And as parents, it's key that we provide the best that we can for our son and for our daughter. Because even though we have a neurotypical and we also have a child on the spectrum, we feel that the resources are actually equipped for both of them.
Hi, I'm Caleb. I'm the father of Sebastian, who's an awesome 5-year-old who just started kindergarten. One of the great things that I love about CARD is not only do they have support groups for children of all ages and help parents navigate some unknown situations, but they also have groups where they get the parents together, and that can be picnics with the parents and the kids, or it can be like chat groups. And we've been doing Zoom happy hours, and before the end of last year was actually getting together in a boardroom and just meeting and talking, and you get to know people, but you get to know people who have gone through this before you, so they have advice that can not just help you, but give you confidence that you can make it, that you're on the right path.
I love the impact UM-NSU CARD is having and the way they're engaging with families. One area of focus for UM-NSU CARD that has had big impact is the programs, support, and services for adults. Through the Daniel Jordan Fiddle Foundation for Transition and Adult Programs, UM-NSU CARD creates opportunities for independence, connection, job and life skills, and meaningful employment, while also paving the way to make the community more inclusive, accepting, and aware of those on the spectrum. Here is Sylvia Gill, manager of the Daniel Jordan Fiddle Foundation for Transition and Adult Programs.
My role at CARD is to really provide opportunities and support for adults on the spectrum. As we know, when you exit out of the school system, it's kind of this long road and we don't really know where to go. And so our team really works with our adults, their families, to really help you provide some different opportunities, and that can be from social skills to employment skills as well as life skills. And so not only do we help you find resources in the community, but we really also host a variety of different types of programs, including our social gain for social opportunities for our adults, our life skills where we're actually on Zoom in the kitchen, learning different kind of cooking skills, as well as our job club, our job seekers, and a variety of other types of supports to help you get through all the transitions into adulthood. So in order to get our adults ready for employment, there's so many different types of steps. And we know this even as we went through this in our own journeys. And so we really start from the beginning, right? So from resumes and how to engage in an interview, but also all of those soft skills and social skills. And so we really try to support our adults through every step of the way, from how to find a job and job searching, and then all the way into actual employment.
My current role at CARD is as a case manager, and my focus is actually on employment. So predominantly I work with teens and adults, and I also help adults with their employment needs. One of the important topics I think for employers to understand is the issue of neurodiversity. Neurodiversity is a movement that has really been propelled forward by self-advocates. So individuals with autism who want the world to understand that they have challenges and they have strengths, and their brains are wired differently. I think it's really important for employers to find a way to understand the challenges that individuals with autism face, as well as what their strengths are, and accommodate the challenges so that they can really access their strengths.
So another big focus of CARD is really building capacity within the community. I've heard countless stories from families telling me, I really wish I can take my entire family to the museum. I wish we can go to the movies, and I wish we can just do everything like any other family. And it really hit me because I realized that none of our families should feel that way. And in order to really build those types of opportunities, we have to go out to the community and show the community with the right types of steps and the right supports, this could be made possible for our families. So as part of this effort, we saw the success, what really CARD can do when we go into that community. And so through that, we really were able to create the Autism-friendly initiative. This initiative provides businesses, community partners, churches, organizations, the opportunity to work with CARD staff to be trained, to be able to look at your business and say, how can we cater to all types of abilities? And that's how this started, through the efforts of wonderful partners such as the Broward Art Center, American Pediatric Dental, and Jackson Healthcare Systems. We were able to create more capacity within the community, which means more opportunities for families on the spectrum. This pandemic has provided so many more hurdles, more than we can probably imagine each and every day. And part of that is even just simply going to the doctor, getting sick. And we wanted to make sure that our families had choices. We're able to go to different types of doctors, and really we wanted to focus on that healthcare system. We have an incredible partnership that we have with Jackson Urgent Care Sites, where we participated in the Autism-friendly initiative through trainings, through collaborative technical assistance, through observations, countless emails and phone calls. We really created this wonderful partnership where they felt they had the tools necessary to be able to provide adequate care for any patient on the spectrum.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Robert Schwartz. I am the chair of the Department of Family Medicine and Community Health at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine and chief of service of the Family Medicine program at the Jackson Health System. I would like to talk to you tonight about our urgent care program, which we established several years ago between the university and Jackson. This is a program that establishes urgent care in Miami-Dade County. We have 5 centers throughout the county, and we're providing outstanding urgent care. One of the things that we've been able to accomplish is to bring in an autism-friendly program into the urgent care centers. And this has been critically important for those families that have autistic children or children with autistic spectrum. And this has helped establish our physicians who work within that environment and the staff to be especially attentive to the needs of autism families. So this program currently exists. It's running very well. We've got excellent feedback from families about the type of services that we're providing in the urgent care programs. And it's so important that actually I've suggested that we bring the education of autism into our residency training program.
Hi, my name is Ozzy Drago. I'm Associate Nurse Manager at the UHealth Jackson Urgent Care. Working as a nurse at the Country Walk Urgent Care site, I had the opportunity of working with a patient by the name of Jason, a 13-year-old boy with severe autism who needed some assistance in being able to be treated and assessed. Before working with me and visiting us, Jason had a difficult time with caregivers being able to even take vital signs. We were able to, through support and tactile distraction, we were able to get Jason's vital signs, his temperature, his blood pressure, and get what we needed for the doctor to be able to take care of Jason and give him the treatment that he needed. With the support of his family, we were able to continue to work with Jason. They came back and visited the urgent care often whenever Jason was feeling ill and felt comfortable being there and being taken care of by us at the urgent care. This is a visual aid that we use for our nonverbal patients. And this is great because we are able to point to the different symptoms where the patient, if he's feeling he's having diarrhea, throwing up, and they can tell us yes or no, and they can actually point to it and help us communicate. That kind of communication is important. In my dealings with Jason, it was important for us to be able to communicate with the child, to be able to tell us what's going on. One of the reasons they felt such a connection was because in the past, caregivers would not communicate with the child once they found out that he was nonverbal. So this helps us be able to tell them, hey, what's going on? Are you feeling okay? Are you cold? And they can point to it yes or no. The impact of working with Jason and helped us understand that we needed to provide tools for other patients that may have the same challenges. That being said, that brought us to having a autism-friendly designation at all our urgent cares. The first urgent care in South Florida to have this designation. The designation does not only help the community and children of need, it also helps the staff. It makes them more engaged. They appreciate being able to help the community because as caregivers, that's why we get into this business, to be able to help others.
Autism-friendly is having a huge impact here in South Florida. The work UM-NSU CARD does with adults on the spectrum is important in helping build independence. I'd like to introduce you to 2 special individuals, Natalie Roman, a case manager with the Daniel Jordan Fiddle Foundation, and her brother Jose, to share their stories.
I am a sibling of an adult with autism, and when he was born, I have been his supporter since day 1. From when he learned to walk, from supporting him in school, he's inspired me. And he has shown me that everyone has the ability to learn. We just have to take the time to see how that person learns. I'm the lead facilitator for our social gain group, which is a social opportunity group, which allows our adults to meet their peers and have fun with different activities. I also started our new Life for Adults group, where we get to practice different life skills through live instruction on Zoom. Our adults on the autism spectrum have a range of so many abilities and strengths that can be essential to a workplace. We have found that many of our adults are even better workers than our neurotypical population because of their great focus, attention to detail, being able to follow a structure and a routine, and they can be essential pieces to any workplace.
My name is Jose Roman, and I am an adult diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. I am Natalie's little brother. I have become part of the CARD family in 2008. I used many of the CARD resources ever since I was a teenager. CARD has helped me build my supportive community and become more independent. I have learned a lot of the CARD adult groups I have participated in, from social opportunities, from life skills, and employment. I work at the Younger Art as a museum educator. As a museum educator, I help greet and meet with museum guests, monitor art exhibits, and facilitate art stations, and work at art outreach events. What I think about my sister is that she's very supportive, and she does everything that she can to make sure I have everything I need to become more independent. It's been a long journey as she's learning how to cope with me whenever I have one of my moments. And thanks to my mom, she was able to sign me up with CARD when I was a teenager. I will always, remember how much my mom did to help me out ever since. And I always wanted to make sure that one day I will make my mom proud to become the most independent adult that I am today. My message as an adult on the spectrum is to look for your support and community. UM-NSU CARD and my sister has helped me out. Life is easier if you find your support and community.
Each year, we award an individual that has had a major impact on the autism community and for families. This year is no different. Here is Patsy Schmidt-Cozier, this year's Tropical Nights Chair, who will tell you more about the award and this year's nominee, Maria Palacio Pike, and her amazing team from Crystal Academy.
My name is Patsy Schmidt-Cozier. I am the proud mom of 3 children, ages 21, 18, and 16. My 18-year-old is my son with autism, and he graduated from class of 2020 from South Miami Senior High. I couldn't be prouder, and it's a big achievement, not only for him, but for us. Tropical Nights, and through the generous donors, gives us, families like me, the opportunity to have our kids in programs such as the surfing camp, summer camp, tennis camps, and many others that would not happen if Tropical Night would not exist. Every dollar that is raised through Tropical Nights go back to the community. When Michael called me last year and told me that I was chosen the chair of the event, I said, why me? I'm just a mom. I'm just an accountant with a job. But I believe they saw right through me, the compassion and passion that I have for kids with autism. This has given me the platform to be able to spread the word about the wonderful services that CARD offers to families in our community, families from all over the world that want to come to Miami and receive services. Giving my friend Mari the Cruz Whitehurst Advocacy Award means a lot because I have witnessed her commitment to the community. And this is very important because I see in Mari a person that can make a real difference in our community. She is a person that doesn't stop. She is a person that wants to see results, and whatever it takes to achieve that, she will do it. I could not think of anyone in the community more deserving to receive this award but Mari Palacio Pike.
I go back always to my experience when my son was diagnosed at 2.5 years old. My husband would come home and he would tell me, he's not looking at me. The lack of eye contact, obviously the lack of speech, the lack of being in our space, in our world, the lack of sleep for him was key. But then we went to the neurologist, and that's when we got the diagnosis of autism. That's one of the most scary moments and that you face as a parent. And again, you just go blank. Where am I gonna go? What's next? You ready to go in?
That's him.
Crystal Academy is a center and a school for children with autism and other neurological conditions. We serve children from diagnosis to 18 years of age. And we provide the main 3 pillars of intervention for autism, which are behavior, occupation, and speech and language therapy. When we realized that we needed a place to have all the main therapies under one roof, that's where the switch came. Because I started realizing that there were many parents like me.
We knew based upon our interactions with Mary and with the staff that we had met at the time and with the quality of the facility that this is where James was going to be able to excel. The changes that I've seen or that we've seen in James have been a lot more than just physical growth and emotional growth, but it's been academic growth. And I think the most important is the social growth.
They have really been a force in the autism community where they have taught us to be fearless and to always, to always believe in our children.
You are home.
Yeah, I have a late meeting.
Bye. I love you.
I love you.
Creating something new brought a lot of heartaches and financial strains, of course. But we knew that we need to do this. Our angels was UM-CARD. They helped us with setup, they helped us with intervention, suggestions, and my family, my parents, were the ones who really helped us get through really tough times financially.
Being part of something that's as big as it is now, and looking back at the history, it is incredible to see. I guess the trials and tribulations that we went through only helped me grow, and it made the process an adventurous one. So to see the fruit of the labor has been the most amazing part of it all.
Mari Palacio Pike is an amazing woman. She is probably the most energetic, passionate, big-hearted person that I've met. CARD can't do it alone. We need to have collaborations with the community and need the community to step up as leaders themselves. And Mari really has been able to fill that role for us.
CARD definitely brings the leader out of you. I never thought I had this in me, never. 30 years ago, you asked me, you tell me Mari's gonna do this. I'm like, really? But CARD really does that for you. I am honored and pressured to keep going because of the Cruz Whitehurst Award given to me this year. It's an honor, but again, it's a pressure to keep showing them I really deserve it.
Thank you, Patsy, and congratulations to Maria and the team at Crystal Academy for this well-deserved recognition. Truly inspiring work. Tonight has been a great lineup of speakers and stories. I hope you've enjoyed the program, and I encourage you to get involved with UM-NSU CARD, recommend UM-NSU CARD to others, and of course, support in any way you can.
If you're watching now and you're thinking that you might like to be involved in the work that we do, we welcome you. There are lots of opportunities for people in our community beyond the autism community to be engaged with us. I welcome you to contact me. I welcome you to contact the CARD Center nearest you and let them know of your interest. There are volunteer opportunities. There are opportunities to participate in our autism-friendly initiatives in the community. There are opportunities for our team to come out and train people where you work and where you live, including law enforcement and businesses. And there are lots of opportunities for giving as well. Tonight is one example of an opportunity or a way for you to give through our fundraising campaign, but there are other initiatives throughout the year as well. You can visit our website, you can sign up for our weekly emails, and you can find a way that meets your need as a contributing person, a contributing member of society who's interested in autism and interested in supporting people with autism in our community.